Quae ris quot mihi basiationes tuae lesbia sint satis superque? Quam magnus numerus libis arenae lasar piciferis jacet cerenis oraclum ioes interais duosi et bati veteris sacrum sepulcrum. Aut quam sidera multa cum tacet nox furtivos hominum vident amores. Tam te basia multa basiara, vesa nos satisset super Catullost, quae nec per numerara curiosi possent nec malafascinara lingua. You can imagine Lesbia's reaction to Catullus's fifth poem. So wait, how many kisses are enough for you? This poem, Catullus 7, gives us and Lesbia the answer. Well, kind of. It'd be much easier and simpler, and probably not worth a poem, if Catullus could specify an exact number, like, say, 12. But he doesn't. He gives us his answer in metaphors and analogies, when essentially he wants to say, there is no limit. And to the ancients, the two easiest examples of infinity are the number of cold stars in the sky and the grains of hot sand. It's important for us to see Catullus's girlfriend not just as a normal woman, but as a well-read and highly educated one. So she's not as easily impressed with the typical, and Catullus needs to go out of his way to make sure he impresses her, without sounding too intellectual and snotty. There's a fine line for Catullus between smart poetry and poetic smarts. We begin our poem with the question, of course, introduced by our first word, quae ris. The term basiationes is one of those smart-sounding words used, maybe, to impress our smart Lesbia. It's a kiss, basia, with a witty suffix. The satis superque at the end of our indirect question is idiomatic for, enough and more than enough. Our two images of infinity are going to each begin with a quam, both of which correlate to the tam in line 9. The quams are translated as, while the tam is so. It's like so many times as, only Catullus here inverts the order, so the as comes first. And when you do the quam clauses too, it's hard to translate them directly into English unless you create a relative clause out of them. So we would do something like, as the great number blah blah blah, which lies, and as the many stars which see. So why would Catullus bring us to Cyrene specifically? It appears that one of his poetic idols, not Sappho, but the other one, the Greek poet Callimachus, is from Cyrene and a direct descendant of Cyrene's founder, Battus. It also allows him to describe Jupiter as sweltering, which could have a double meaning with sweaty, of course even gods sweat in the desert, and lusty, which as we know, Jupiter is. Our second image of infinity moves us from the hot desert to the cold night sky. Here, only the stars are witnesses to Catullus and Lesbia's secret love, and it is complicit in keeping their affair secret with its silence. In our last 4 lines, we get the concluded answer, and again, our reference back to poem 5, where we try to veil our exact number to free ourselves from the hex of the curious. The quae, neuter plural, refers to our kisses. Per numerare is not just count, but the per prefix intensifies it, to thoroughly count up. Infinity is too much even for the curiosi. Possent is a potential subjunctive with the sense that they couldn't even if they tried. And you should carry the sense of this possent over into the next clause with mala lingua as another subjective could. These last 4 lines, especially the 4th and 3rd to last, do a great job of picking up the thoughts from the first 2 lines. The quote, how many, is mirrored by the multa, many. Basiationes, kisses, by the basia and basiara. The tuae goes with the te. Vesano Catullo, for crazy Catullus, is from mihi. The sint is reflected by the est, of course, and the satis superque is picked up by the satis et super. Of course, we haven't come to any sort of conclusion from this poem other than that Catullus wants an infinite number of kisses, and he did an amazing job telling us that. Let's read it again. Quae ris quot mihi basiationes tuae lesbia sint satis superque? Quam magnus numerus libis arenae lasar piciferis jacet cerenis oraclum ioes interais duosi, et bati veteris sacrum sepulcrum. aut quam sidera multa cum tacet nox furti vos hominum vident amores. Tam te basia multa basiara, ve sa nos atesset super Catullost, quae nec per numerare curiosi, possent nec mala fascinare lingua.